Hey, my name is Patrick, and I wanted to post a quick video about why you might want to consider running in sandals instead of traditional running shoes. The reason why I'm doing this is because I recently did a marathon, and a lot of other folks were a little skeptical about why I was running in sandals, or that I could run in sandals. And then afterwards, after I broke 3 hours, they were all asking me, how do you run in sandals? How did you discover sandals? And so I've got about 6 points, I think benefits to running in sandals that I want to share with you. The first is, if you've never run in sandals before, it's liberating. I think the first stroll I took in sandals was on a trail, and there were aspects of the running experience that I'd never been present to before. Leaves, dirt, just the breeze. There's definitely a liberation that comes with getting out of the shoes. So much more air exposure, you can feel the sun. You can just feel where you're running. And it's something that, if you've never experienced before, you can't know what it's like. So I would recommend doing it just for that. The second thing is that running in sandals strengthens your feet. The traditional running shoe is something like a cast for the feet that prevents them from getting a whole lot of strength or a lot of flexibility, and so it keeps them pretty in a single position the entire time, rather than flexing and stretching out. One of the biggest things you recognize when you start running in toes is how much your running in sandals that your toes want to spread out quite a bit. So you find after doing that for a while, well, your feet start to get sore really quickly, and then they strengthen back up, and then you're less susceptible to a lot of foot injuries. And so that's another big thing. I found running in sandals to help my form. Again, with the structure of the built-up sole in traditional running shoes, it can be common to sort of land with your foot out in front of your weight, and then you don't feel like that's a problem because the sole absorbs all of that pressure. Well, if you're running in sandals, you can't really do that because your heel has to absorb that, and then that goes all the way up your lower legs, and that can be painful. And so really quickly you learn what constitutes good form and bad form simply by the feedback you get immediately. That's proprioceptive feedback. One thing that I realized months after running in sandals is that I had fewer neuroses, mental health issues that were related to running. This whole idea that I've got to break 34 minutes for the 10K. When I realized that I'm not here running in sandals, I remember why I run, and that running itself is actually quite enjoyable. And so I'm less susceptible to, be hard on myself. And enjoy the run a little bit more. Well, let's see what else do I have written down here. Ultimately, it reminds you why you started running in the first place. It's not about running fast times or making people impressed by how many races you can win, but that there's something actually integral to the process of running itself that's enjoyable. I would describe that joy psychologically, physiologically, even spiritually, and none of those things can be gained through winning a race or running a fast time. Finally, running sandals are cheap. I've been running in these. These are the Luna Venados. I probably put 1,100 miles in these, and they still have great soles. The laces are starting to fall apart, and the bummer with that is they don't do these anymore. So I actually had to switch over to these Shama sandals. These are the Shama Warrior. I probably put 150 miles in on these, and there's almost no wear at all. So get yourself a pair of $65, $70 sandals, and you'll have them for a year or two. I expect to be able to put about 1,500 miles on this, but I'll let you know. And so that's about 5 or 6 points onto why you might want to run in sandals.